All right, so let's get into it. So Harrison Butker, for football fans, is widely known as Kansas City Chiefs kicker, right? Super Bowl champion and all of that. But now he's being known to the world as one who may be a misogynist. This has come about because now he's in headlines and everything like that for his statements towards the Benedictine college, and he uses this term, well, in regards to his wife, as homemaker. And so the whole world is, well, not the whole world, but so his name is all in headlines for this reason. And I want to get into it. Is the world overreacting? Does Harrison Butker have a point? And so I want to kind of, break down what he was talking about in his speech towards the college and give my take on it. It's your boy Tay. This is the Nfluence channel where we focus on growing our relationship with God, our relationship with self, and our relationship with people. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Turn your bell notifications on if you're interested in more content like this, or if you got something from it. And y'all stay tapped in. You already know. All right, so first things first. This school is a Catholic school. So the school is about 85% Catholic, according to Cardinal Newman Society. And here is the mission statement of Benedictine College. It seems like the main point, because he touched on a lot of things. He was even giving smoke to Joe Biden. I'm going to just start it at minute 11:30, because I think this is when he begins to address the women. This is what has his name all in the headlines. So that's what I'm going to get into right about now, all right?
Ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, you are sitting at the edge of the rest of your lives. Each of you has the potential to leave a legacy that transcends yourselves and this era of human existence. In the small ways, by living out your vocation, you will ensure that God's church continues and the world is enlightened by your example. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the women, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now, about to cross this stage, and are thinking about all the promotions and titles you are going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world.
Based on that so far, I can't say I disagree. There's even in the difference in boys and girls when we're growing up. Girls are playing with the Barbie dolls. They're playing and imitating things of what it would be like to be a wife, right? With their doll sets or their kitchen sets, things when they trying to act like they cooking or whatever like that, So I think even how it's portrayed in the the Disney movies and things like that, it has young girls thinking about what it's going to be like when they have their dream wedding and meet Prince Charming and things like that. But the guys, we not really even thinking like that. We into action figures and video games and all this other stuff. So I think even from an early age, women are thinking about husband, family, things like that.
I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. I'm on this stage today and able to be the man I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents God has given me, but it cannot be overstated.
So he done said vocation a couple times. So I don't know what he was trying to say with the my wife's life truly started when she began her vocation. But I think he gets into that a little bit later on, because what I thought on first listen is that he's trying to say that, I thought he was trying to say like, yo, maybe before she became a wife, before we had kids and she was out in the world and they were dating and things of that nature, she really didn't have a clear goal or a clear idea of what life looked for her. So that's what I was thinking he was getting at. I get it, the words and how it could sound like, dang, you trying to say she was nothing? Like, I get it, but I don't think he's saying that, because what he begins to say after this shows me how much he really values his wife. You know what I'm saying? But the word vocation, so some of the definitions that I've seen, not just on Merriam-Webster, but it kind of speaks as if this it defines it kind of in the ways that whatever this particular thing is that you do, it's a calling from God. It's a feeling inside where you feel like, yo, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I was created to do. So based on this definition of vocation, maybe he's saying like, yo, once she really locked in and because again, he said she submitted her life to God as well when she joined him in the faith. So they're both now walking a life in submission to God. So again, a vocation, a particular calling that you feel from God to be doing a certain thing, maybe that's what he's saying is that, yo, once she began to walk in submission to God, that's when things began to get better for her.
But it cannot be overstated that all of my success is made possible because a girl I met in band class back in middle school would convert to the faith, become my wife, and embrace one of the most important titles of all, homemaker.
So everyone starts clapping. So clearly the school, but they could be clapping because they just see a man who's being emotional and valuing his wife. So either way, maybe it's not as bad as the world is trying to make it seem. You can't make it seem like it's toxic masculinity or he's misogynistic or whatever like that. He's trying to control his wife. All these different narratives. To see him even up there being emotional and just thinking about how much value his wife brought to the table by her being a homemaker, by her staying home, helping the kids. And I think he gets into all of that stuff. But he clearly is not a dude who is just saying that, yo, I want her to stay home so I could control her, so I could make all of the money for my own personal ego. Nah, they probably were blessed with a situation where, because even with the economy now, the average man is not making enough money to be able to tell his wife, yo, stay at the crib. It's just not, it's not even what our grandparents grew up in. When my grandfather could work a job or work two jobs, you know what I'm saying, and be able to provide for the family. Nah, now it's like everybody got to chip in.
She's a primary educator to our children. She's the one who ensures I never let football or my business become a distraction from that of a husband and father. She is the person that knows me best at my core, and it is through our marriage that, Lord willing, we will both attain salvation. I say all of this to you because I have seen it firsthand, how much happier someone can be when they disregard the outside noise and move closer and closer to God's will in their life. Isabel's dream of having a career might not have come true, but if you asked her today if she has any regrets on her decision, she would laugh out loud without hesitation and say, heck no.
I think he even talked about it in the beginning where he first started off saying, yo, I want to address the women because y'all have dealt with the biggest lie. Then he goes into this whole thing, this whole story about what he's experienced with his wife. Clearly, these are graduates, so they about to go into the real world. They don't busted their tail to get this degree. Now they gonna bust their tail to go get to a bag. As a Christian, even myself, you find it hard sometimes because you get the two confused where you think your purpose is to go after this job. You were created to do a job, to do this particular job versus you were created to glorify God, which is what he also brings up. And so you kind of get the two confused and you have this conflict where you think you're not living life the right way, or you think all there is to life, or you think you're a failure because you're not doing that particular job, or you think that everything that matters, you think the only thing that matters is getting to a bag. And so I think he's using his wife to display that, yo, even when we was coming up, she had her dreams. Like he said, it could have worked out, but she submitted to God, which is what he's using his wife's story as, is that she submitted to God, to a vocation, to whatever it is that she felt that God blessed them with a particular lifestyle, and she submitted to that. Could she go off and still decide, yo, and tell her husband, yo, Harrison, I'm about to go out and get to a bag? Sure, she could. But why do that if God blessed you to have a husband who's taking care of you, is not going to abuse you, abuse the situation for his own male ego and control you, but view you as a partner and value your contributions and the things that you do at the crib, which is what he was doing in this speech. People don't understand the importance of structure at home. Women are even led to believe that, yo, if you want to be a stay-at-home mom, or if you want to be a stay-at-home wife, like, nah, sis, that's not it. What? Because even when you think about LeBron is considered at least the second greatest basketball player of all time. A man is able to go out into the world and do what he got to do because he knows at the crib everything is handled. But when you have a partner, as God created Eve, the wife, to be the help for Adam, when you have your Eve, who is your partner, then things are relieved. Stress is relieved because you know you got somebody you could count on day in and day out. Just because she stays at home, and I'm positive, when people begin to talk to housewives who hold down the crib, they gonna tell you this is not an easy task. And it is something to be applauded. I think the lie he was addressing is this idea that women can't have a fulfilled life or have their best life if they're a stay-at-home wife. If they just stay home, take care of the kids, don't have a job, and things of that nature. Now, again, I think the situation is something that only works for certain people, because you can get put in a situation like Harrison Butker's wife, where your husband is like, yo, I'll take care of everything, you don't gotta work. But then you have a guy who's prideful, a man who's not submitted to God, a man who's doing what he's doing for his own ego, a man who doesn't view his woman, his wife, as a partner, but as a trophy, something that also feeds his ego. But because he's already attained his wealth, he's attained everything already without her assistance, I could dispose of her when I feel like it, because I'm a viable option. I make 6 figures. I could get any shorty I want. I'm rich, or whatever the case may be. That typically happens. But when you have a husband that values what's going on at the crib, come on. A husband who looks at the money I make ain't my money, it's our money. I think everyone understands that the times today is not the same situation for everyone, because again, men don't make, the average man is making 40, 45, 50,000. You know what I'm saying? That's not enough to be able to tell your wife, stay at the crib. That's not even enough. It's not enough to even make her think about it. The answer is no. It's like, we don't make enough money.
To the gentleman here today, part of what plagues our society is this lie that has been told to you that men are not necessary in the home or in our communities. As men, we set the tone of the culture, and when that is absent, disorder, dysfunction, and chaos set in. This absence of men in the home is what plays a large role in the violence we see all around the nation.
See? But then nobody's up in arms about that. When men are absent from the home, what's the impact? Nobody's going crazy about that. But they going crazy because what he said about women staying home and being homemakers. But when he talks about men, when men are removed from the homes, I haven't seen one headline about that statement. I don't get it. And that's a proven fact about what the incarceration rates and the things for that, for people who are filling up the prisons. Where was they dads?
Other countries do not have nearly the same absentee father rates as we find here in the U.S., and a correlation could be made in their drastically lower violence rates as well. Be unapologetic in your masculinity, fighting against the cultural emasculation of men.
Everything men do is toxic masculinity. When men try to step up and do what men do, it's toxic masculinity because a man wants to be the leader of his home. Huh?
Never settle for what is easy. You might have a talent that you don't necessarily enjoy, but if it glorifies God, maybe you should lean into that over something that you might think suits you better.
Choose God's route, not what you think is what's best for you. Don't listen to the outside noise, which is what he told the women as well. Lean into what God wants you to do. How do you figure that out? Got to be in a relationship with him. To the ladies, at the end of the day, be locked in. Be in a relationship with Christ. Know God. Be locked in with him on his hip at all times and let him direct you and order your paths. If he gives you the opportunity to be a stay-at-home wife, there's nothing wrong with that. If he's called you to be a businesswoman for a Fortune 500 company, there's nothing wrong with that. But the important thing is that you follow what God has for you. But at the end of the day, a Catholic man giving a Catholic message to people who are to a predominantly Catholic audience at a Catholic school. Hey, go listen to the speech yourself. Listen to it from the start to the ending. Get all the context that you need. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification so you can be notified of when I post more videos like this or when I'm dropping my podcast with my wife. All of that stuff, man. But y'all stay up, y'all stay blessed. Peace and love, and may the Lord be with you. You feel me?